Welcome, dear students. So today we are going to continue with chapter 2, which is Python revision tour 2, and in this lecture we are going to study tuples in Python. So, introduction to tuples. What are tuples? Tuples are used to store single or multiple items. It is depicted through round bracket or the normal bracket. We are going to use normal bracket to create tuples. Tuples are immutable, which means that you cannot change elements of the tuple. Here are three examples of tuples. Tuple 1 apple, banana, cherry, and tuple 2 1 5 7 9 3, and tuple 3 true, false, false, etc. You cannot change one element of the tuple, therefore it is known as immutable. So how to create tuples? You can create tuples using the tuple keyword like this, or you can also specify, you can use tuples like this. This is empty tuple, there is no element inside. And you can also create a single element tuples like this, the second one like this. Okay, the first one is not a tuple, it's a value. So if you are going to create a tuple for a single element, you have to put the comma. The comma is essential. And you can create tuple from existing sequences. For example, programming is a sequence of strings, so you can create tuples from this. The name of the tuple is simply tuples, and we are creating tuples from the programming language. So what will it be? The elements. The elements will be P, the elements will be R, the elements will be O, elements will be G, something like this. Okay. You can also create tuples from keyboard inputs by specifying tuples and inputs and enter tuples elements like this. These are the different ways in which you can create tuples. Now let's have a little bit comparison about tuples and lists. I hope you are familiar with lists that we have already studied, and if you are not familiar, you can watch the my lecture video on list again. So these are some of the similarities between lists and tuples. The function len can be used both in tuples and lists. Indexing and slicing can be applied in tuples where the index starts from 0. Okay, so the membership operators in and not in can be used in both tuples and lists. The concatenation plus symbols and the replication or repetition, which is star, can be used in tuples as well as lists. These are few similarities between tuples and lists. Now let's talk about the differences. Tuples are immutable. Okay, here not mutable. Tuples are immutable or not mutable, while lists are mutable. What is that means? That means you cannot change individual items in tuple, but you can change individual items in list. That's the difference. For example, if I want to change the ith element in list, suppose L is the list, it is valid. If you want to change the I element in tuples, which is invalid. Okay, these are the difference or the difference. Now let's talk about the different operations available in tuples. Okay, we have traversing operations, joining operations, repeating or replicating operations, and slicing operations, and unpacking operations that we are going to study one by one. Now first, traversing a tuple. Traversing means accessing and processing its element one by one. Okay, or visiting its element one by one. For this, you can use the for loop to go from one element to another in the tuples. For example, here I'm creating my tuple, and the elements are characters of Python, P, Y, T, H, O, N. So using for loops for ch, one character in that my tuples, I'm going to print each character one by one. As you can see in the output here, it is printed, it is printed, it is printed, printed, and printed, printed. All the elements are printed one by one. That means we are visiting all the elements one by one, which means traversing its element. Okay, we are traversing, we are accessing, we are visiting, we are processing one element at a time. This is known as traversing a tuple. I hope it's clear. Now let's go to the next one. Joining a tuples. You can join two or more tuples with the plus operator. Okay. Here I have tuple 1, which is ABC, tuple 2, which is 1, 2, 3, and tuple 3, I can say tuple 1 plus tuple 2. And I can print tuple 3. So I got the output of ABC 1, 2, 3, which is a join between the tuples. Alright, now let's go to the next one, which is joining a tuples again. Here I want to deal with a single element. While joining a single element, you should be very careful. You have to put comma at the end of the single element tuples that I have already told you. Here I have tuple 1, I say tuple 2 plus 1. This is incorrect. This is not a tuple. We cannot join a tuple with a value. What is correct is tuple 1 equal to tuple 2 plus 1 comma. This is correct because this is a tuple. So a tuple and a tuple can be combined. A tuple and value cannot be combined. So the reason is single element without comma is treated as a value and it is not a tuple. I hope it's clear. Now, repeating or replicating tuples. You can repeat or multiply tuples any number of times. For example, I have tuple 1 here and tuple 2 here. I want to multiply tuple 1 two times, that is ABC, ABC 2 times. And I want to multiply tuple 2 three times. Okay, 3 times. That is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is the output. This is known as replicating or repeating. I hope it's clear. Now let's go to slicing the tuples. You can slice out or you can cut out or you can extract sequences from the tuples just like this. You can create a new tuple from the slice tuple also. Sequence equal to tuple. There will be the start. This will be the starting index and this will be the end of the index and this will be the number of steps. Okay, you may start and stop. The start and stop may be positive or negative index number. Okay, you can move in positive way or you can move in negative way. Suppose I have a tuple 1 to 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 up to 7, and I can print the tuple and which is shown here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and I can create another tuples tuple 2 by slicing out 2 to 5, 2 to 5. So if you slice out 2 to 5 like other lists, uh, we slice up to 5 and um, this is the index 2 to 5. We slice up to 5 and we start just after let us say it is 3. Okay, 3 4 5. So we start from 3 4 5. This is 2 to 5. Why? Because 0 1 2, this is the index number, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So even though I say 2 to 5, we are starting from 2 to just before 5. That is 2 3 4 2 3 4. That is 3 4 5. I mean 3 4 5 is printed out. I hope it's clear. And another one is I am slicing out to index number 2 to 7 with the step size of 2. So index number starting from 2, we are starting again from 3, and actually it is 6, it is 7, even though I specify index number 7 which doesn't exist. So it will slice up to 6. So that means I'll start with 3 with the step size of 2. That means 2 to 5 and 5 to 7. So 3 5, 7 is the output. I hope it's clear. This is known as slicing out. Now let's talk about unpacking tuples. Creating a tuples from a set of values is known as packing. If you create tuples from different values, it is known as packing. But the reverse process, creating individual values from tuple element, is known as unpacking. Okay, unpacking. So let's see. I have fruits here. In these fruits, I have apple, banana, and cherry. And I also uh, I, I can unpack green, yellow, red from fruits, right? What is the meaning? The meaning is apple is assigned to green, and banana is assigned to yellow, and cherry is assigned to red, like this. So we can create unpack values like this. So when you print out, if you print out green, you'll get apple, which is the value coming from tuples. If you print out yellow, you'll get banana, which is coming from tuples. And if you print red, you'll get cherry, which is coming from tuples. This is known as unpacking. I hope it's clear. Now, let's go to the tuple functions and methods. Okay, some of the most commonly used tuple functions and methods are len function, max function, min function, index function, count function, and tuple functions. So we are going to study these things one by one. First, the LEN method. This method is very popular. It is applicable to string, it is applicable to list, and it is applicable to tuples too. For example, if I have tuples, tuple 1 from 1 to 7, if I print the length, I'll get the number of elements. How many elements are there? There are 7 elements. All right? And the next one is the max method. The max method returns the number of elements from the tuples having maximum value, the largest element in that tuples. For example, I have tuples 11, 20, 13, 77, 63, and 70. So if I print the max of that tuples, I'll get the largest number, which is 77. And another one is the min method. The min method return element from the tuple having the minimum value, that is the smallest value. All right. So the max, the min, these are applicable only if the tuples are of the same types. For example, if you are having a tuples which is a mix of numbers and strings, this min max function will not be applicable. So if I print the min, so I'll get 11, which is the minimum value or the minimum element. Next, the index method. Using the index method, you can you can see what is the index number. Okay, what is the index number of that element? For example, in these tuples, I have 11, 20, 13, 77, 63, and 70. So if I print tuple 1.index 77, that means I want to know what is the index number of 77. The index number of 77 is 3. How? It is starting from 0, it is 1, it is 2, and it is 3. So the index number of 77 is 3. And the count method returns the number of elements or objects in a given sequences or at tuples. So here I have 11, 20, 11, 22, 77, 11 again, 20, 70. So if I want to count 11, how many times did 11 occur in the number or in the tuples? So I can see it is 1 time, it is 2 times, and it is 3 times. So 3 is the output. So you can count like this. And the last method is this tuple method. This tuple method is actually a constructor method that can be used to create multiple tuples from different types of value. The tuples argument must be a sequence of types, a string or list or dictionary. For example, here I have strings. From this string, I can create tuples. So tuple is created using the tuple method. So if I print out Python is the elements of the tuples. And in this tuple again, this is a dictionary that we haven't learned. So in this dictionary, we are creating a tuple with the number 1 and number 2. So if we print out this tuple 2, I got 1, comma 2. So this is the way of creating tuple again that we have already studied. Do you have any questions? Please feel free to ask me anytime, okay, through WhatsApp or calls also. Thank you.